Hello and welcome. Yes, class 668. 668. Wow. We're progressing. We are progressing. We have never stopped progressing. It's been a tendency throughout the program. Yes. We always progress. We never digress. Okay. We progress. Paragraphs. I want to finish paragraph 156 from yesterday. I spent a lot of time with this paragraph yesterday, but there are a few details I want to insist on. Details I've expressed to you many, many times. You see, the grammatical points, the interesting grammar and the interesting phonetics and the interesting vocabulary, I repeat this same explanation maybe every 3 weeks. I keep repeating again and again and again because the repetition of words, expressions, phonetic connections, and meanings, significados, finally you begin to assimilate it if you hear it 37 times, you see. People don't assimilate things the first time, usually, nor the second many times, nor the third. They start assimilating after time number 24, and they start assimilating things, you see. For example, in the paragraph yesterday, let me read it. I'm sorry, but okay, if you remember from yesterday, a person walks into a bookshop to buy a reference book, a specific reference book, libro de referencia, maybe a dictionary. Okay, pero con esto, with this, we don't need dictionaries anymore. Huh? But nevertheless, to buy a reference book. And the woman, or the man, working in the shop says, we don't have it, it's sold out. I'm sorry, but it's sold out. You might try the bookstore across the street. They usually have a pretty big stock of reference books. And you might find what you're looking for there. If you prefer to wait, and not go across the street, if you prefer to wait, we should have it here. We should have it here by the middle of next week. Okay, which means the bookshop doesn't have a specific reference book that the person is looking for. However, they have ordered it, and it's from the publishing house, Casa Editorial, and it should arrive by the middle of next week. Dos cosas aquí. It should se traduce por un debes siempre portarte bien, en público sobre todo. You should always behave well. Deberías estudiar más, en mi opinión. You should study more. But there's a third very important meaning for should, and that's con toda probabilidad, con toda seguridad. And she says, we should have it here by the middle of next week. Lo tendremos seguramente, con toda probabilidad, lo tendremos aquí para mediados de la semana próxima. Para mediados, como más tarde. By the middle of next week. Si ella dijera, o él dijera, in the middle of next week, o sea, in the middle of next week, llega el miércoles. But she says, by the middle of next week, means para mediados de la semana próxima, tal vez antes incluso. All right? Por eso dice by. By significa siempre que hay fecha como tope. Pero puede ser antes. By. Lo quiero el viernes. I want it on Friday. Quiero el informe el viernes. I want the report on Friday. Thursday, no. On Friday. Now, I want the report by Friday. That means Friday at the latest. If you give it to me tomorrow, Wednesday, great. Even better. So much the better. Se dice tanto mejor. So much the better. And she said, so if you prefer to wait, we should have it. We should have it by the middle of next week. So The salesperson, the person working in the bookshop, is offering the man an alternative. I mean, the shop doesn't have the book. It's sold out. Apparently it's a popular book. Or maybe they order very few copies. Ejemplares or números, very few copies. And so the person is giving the customer an option, two options. Wait until the middle of next week, or go across the street and maybe they probably have it. So what is the man going to do? Well, if the other bookstore is simply across the street, I mean, if I were the man, I would say, well, thank you very much. And I would leave the shop, cross the street, and buy the book in the other shop, of course. Because the person, that's very nice of the person to offer the competition the possibility to make a sale. I'm sorry, but it's sold out. You might try, it's impossible to translate it. It's impossible, in my opinion, to translate this to Spanish well. You might try means, you might try, a lo mejor querrías, quisieras, I don't know. You might try. You might try the book. That means it's a possible suggestion. You might try the bookshop or the bookstore, dice aquí, across the street. Across the street. They usually, they usually have a pretty big, ojo, bastante grande. They usually have a pretty big stock. Dice stock? Yeah. They usually have a pretty big stock of reference books. And you might, you might find what you're looking for there. Ahí en esa tienda. You might find what you're looking for there. If you prefer to wait, we should have it here by the middle of next week. All right. And this, understand rubber band? All right. Paragraph 157. All right, paragraph 157. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Don't feel offended. The fact is, I was planning to attend the banquet, but my wife had a pretty high temperature when I got home, and I decided not to go. All right. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. For sure, I would have been there. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. The fact is, I was planning to attend the banquet, el banquete, ¿no? In fact, es la única palabra que Marta entiende de todo esto. A banquet. Okay. She has a very nebulous idea, but there's a banquet. A banquet. All right. Así se va mejorando la audición en otro idioma. You identify certain words. Estás diciendo algo sobre un banquete. Maybe, maybe not. Y la temperatura, a lo mejor de la atmósfera. I don't know. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Speech, un discurso. Dictar un discurso, dar una conferencia, una charla. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Don't feel offended. Don't feel offended. The fact is, I was planning to attend the banquet, but my wife had a pretty high temperature when I got home, and I decided not to go. To go or not to go? To go or not to go? That is the question. I decided not to go. Yeah. To the banquet. Yes. I decided not to go to the banquet. Why? I told you. Can't you understand me? No. You didn't go to the banquet. No, I didn't. Oh. Were you planning to go? Yes, I was planning to go. But you didn't go. No, I didn't go. I decided not to go. I decided not. Yeah, but why did you decide not to go? It's very clear. Listen again. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. I would have been there. I would have been there. I would have been there. Habría estado ahí. O habría ido ahí. I would have been there. Habría estado ahí. De haber sabido. O si hubiera sabido. I would have been there. I would have been there. Yeah, I say, hey, Charlie. Charlie. No, I wasn't able to go to the bank. Oh, you gave a speech. Pronunciaste un discurso. I didn't know that. I mean, I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Ahora sí, ¿no? De haber sabido que ibas a dar pronunciar un discurso, decir unas palabras. I would have been there if I had known that is opcional. If I had known you were going to give a speech. I didn't know. I didn't know you were going to give a speech at the banquet. If I had known, yo no hago la contracción if I'd known. If I had known, yo nunca hago esa contracción. If I had known, if I had known, I would have been there. Yeah, I would have been there, pero lo digo al revés. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Don't feel offended. El tipo está ofendido. Don't feel offended. No te sientas ofendido. Don't feel offended. The fact is, lo que pasa es que, el hecho es que, the fact is, I was planning to go. Yeah, I was planning to attend the banquet. But my wife, your wife, yeah, my wife. What about your wife? But my wife had a pretty high temperature when I got home from work. Al llegar a casa del trabajo. But my wife had a pretty high temperature, una fiebre bastante alta, 39. Yeah, my wife had a pretty high temperature when I got home from work, and I decided not to go. ¿Excusa válida en tu opinión? Yeah. I mean, I was invited to a banquet. Fine. And I was planning to go. I drove home from work. When I got home, I said, darling, I'm home. And she was in bed with a thermometer in her mouth. I said, what's the matter? I have a fever. I have a temperature. Los británicos dicen, I have a temperature. I have a temperature. I have a temperature. And I said, 39.3. Wow. Yeah, well, I think, and the kids were not at home. The kids were in a summer camp. And so I didn't want to leave my wife alone at home with a 39.3 degree temperature. Did I do the right thing? Hice bien lo correcto? Did I do? I mean, in your opinion, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Así se dice en inglés. Hice lo correcto. Did I do the right thing? I stayed at home with my wife, taking care of her. Yeah, I grabbed a chair and sat down. She was in bed. Yeah, bundled up. How do you say a scarf? Bufaste con bufanda. She was bundled up in bed. I pulled up a chair. I brought a bottle of Ribera del Duero. And I started talking with my wife and drinking. I drank too much. I passed out. And my wife had a problem. Dios mío, mi marido se me ha. So probably it would have been better if I had gone to the banquet. It would have been better. Okay, I would have been there if I had known, hey, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Yeah. Oh. Well, I couldn't go. You gave a speech. Well, don't get it. I would have been there. I would have been there if I had known you were going to give a speech. Don't feel offended. Don't feel offended. Yeah. The fact is, I was planning to go. And the fact is, I was planning to attend the banquet. But my wife had a high temperature when I got home from work. And I decided not to go. I think Charlie understands. But he was upset. You didn't show up for the banquet. And I gave a speech. It was an incredible speech, very good speech. Everybody loved it, and you missed it. You missed the speech. Well, I'm sorry. My wife was in bed with a 39-degree fever. Fever. Everybody's got the fever. All right. Now you understand it, right? Okay. Paragraph 158. We have plenty of time, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, this one's difficult. Lo salto? Should I skip it? Marta? Should I skip it? This one's difficult. Should I skip it? You want me to skip it? Vamos a lo fácil, ¿verdad? Yeah, life is already too difficult to include difficult paragraphs. Yeah. All right. Now, it's my duty to you and to myself as a teacher not to skip. Skip is saltar, omitir, aposta. Bueno, accidentalmente también skip. I'm not going to skip paragraph 158. All right, are you ready? Clean your ears. All right. It'll be a lot easier once we've finished the court case. I have to spend at least half my time getting together all the special documents my attorney needs. Just to give you an example, I haven't had time to call a single distributor since the end of the month. Since the end of last month. Algo del mes pasado. Well, maybe. No. Last month is not relevant in this story. Yes, but you said easier. Yeah, I said it'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. It'll be a lot easier. It'll be. Una pequeña abeja. Una abeja es a bee. B-E-E-B. Voy a ser una abeja en mi proximidad. I'm going to be a bee. You're going to be a bee? Yeah, in my next life, I made an agreement with God. God told me that reincarnation exists. And he asked me, it's your option. I want to be a bee. A bee. Okay. Yes. I want to be a bee. Yeah. Once we've finished, it'll be. Imagina pequeña abeja. Little bee. Pequeña abeja. Little bee. Ahora quita la L. Al principio de little. It'll be. Eso es será o estará. La cosa. It'll be. Será mucho más fácil. It'll be a lot easier. It will be. It'll be a lot easier. Zaragoza. Zuzana. It'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. To finish with, me gusta la expresión terminar con. Una vez que hayamos terminado con el caso judicial, ¿no? With the court case. Court, la corte. Case, un caso judicial. It'll be a lot easier once we have finished. Una vez hayamos terminado. Once we have finished the court case. Now it's clear. All right. It'll be a lot easier. But for the moment, no. Problem. Difficulties. Right and left. A diestro y siniestro. Right and left. Problems right and left. Because of this horrible court case. But it'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. I have to spend at least half my time. Pasar tiempo en este caso. Dedicar. I have to spend at least half my time getting together all the special documents my attorney needs. My attorney is my lawyer. In Great Britain, and I think in Ireland as well, they would probably say my solicitor, mi solicitador, my solicitor, because the legal system in England is similar to the United States. It's a common law, derecho común, no es derecho civil. In the European continent, it's civil law. But in the Anglo-Saxon world, Great Britain, Ireland, I don't know, United States, Canada, Australia, etc., it's common law. It's quite different. But in the United States, if you have a legal problem, you take the problem to your lawyer or your attorney. Ambos valen. Lawyer or attorney. And then the attorney or the lawyer prepares the arguments and everything in your favor. And then together you go to court. Your lawyer, your attorney, and you. And in front of the judge or the jury, you defend your case, whatever. All right, good. In Great Britain and Ireland, in Australia, I don't know, you go to your solicitor, que es abogado, he's a lawyer, your solicitor's a lawyer. You give him, well, you explain the case, provide the necessary documentation, and the solicitor takes this. When everything is ready, the solicitor contacts a barrister, escrito. And between the solicitor and barrister, they prepare the court case. And the barrister defends you in the court with the help of the solicitor. Que no es un procurador, como dicen aquí, pero hay similitudes. All right, and that's the case. And so it's different in Great Britain. But this is in the United States. All right, this paragraph. It'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. Una vez hayamos terminado. It'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. I have to spend at least half my time, por lo menos la mitad de mi tiempo, reuniendo todos los documentos especiales. Reuniendo, getting together. You know, this, mi partida de nacimiento. Where is it? My birth certificate. My birth certificate. Yeah. Fe de vida. I need to prove that I'm actually living. Look, I'm alive. No, we need, es que no existe en inglés fe de vida. A certificate that you are in fact living. Well, here's my birth certificate. You see? And here's me. Can you see me? Yes, I can see you, but I need a certificate that you are alive. So that's to get together. To get together is también reunirse, amigos. Reunámonos en el bar de enfrente. Let's get together in the bar across the street. Let's get together. But to get together documents, you know, this and this and this. Finally, you know, it's interesting. 150 years ago, in the 19th century, it was the same, basically. You get together documents, and the lawyer put all these documents and use una cinta roja, red tape. La palabra hoy en día en inglés para papeleo burocrático es red tape. En la administración española hay muchos, miles de trámites y pasos burocráticos. In Spain, there's a lot of red tape. Y hemos conservado eso de la cinta roja. There's a lot of red tape. Red tape. Paperwork es papeleo también. Trabajo de papeles. Paperwork. And red tape. Paperwork and red tape. It'll be a lot easier once we've finished with the court case. I have to spend at least, todavía estoy con ello, por eso hablo en el presente. Tengo que dedicar, I have to spend at least half my time getting together all the special documents my attorney needs. That my attorney needs. Que necesito mi abogado, that my attorney needs. Just to give you an example, solo para ponerte un ejemplo, just to give you an example, I haven't had time to call a single distributor since the end of last month. Just to give you an example, para ponerte un ejemplo. En inglés no ponemos ejemplos, damos ejemplos. Solo para darte un ejemplo, I haven't had time to call a single distributor. O sea, trabajará en algo de distribuidor. I haven't had time to call a single distributor. Esta expression, a single. Ni un solo distribuidor. Since the end of last month, desde el mes pasado. Desde finales del mes pasado. Since the end of last month. I haven't had time to call a single distributor since the end of last month. Just to give you an example, I haven't had time to call a single distributor, ni un solo distribuidor. No tengo ni un solo bloc de notas aquí. I don't have a single notebook here. Yeah. No tengo ni un solo lápiz tiene la punta bien, Marta. Not a single pencil has a good point. We need to sharpen all of them. Not a single pencil is sharp. Not a single pencil, and I haven't had time to call a single distributor since the end of last month. See you tomorrow.